Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to Maxwell Starr's beer review. Here tonight with something different, but kind of the same. I ripped that off another channel. Anyway, we're gonna do a live review, and I'm testing out the new kind of webcam feature that my Sony uh, mirrorless camera has, and the video quality looks great. So we're gonna use this to do a live beer review or a live beer comparison of two new beers that were just launched, I believe, this week from Moosehead. We're gonna do East meets West. Put them in order. Oh, fine shit show I run here. This is the new Moosehead Small Batch East Coast IPA and Small Batch West Coast IPA. Let's first of all discuss what these are. Now, if you don't know already, Moosehead at their brewery itself, they have like a little small batch brewery. They produce not necessarily just like one-off beers, but more craft beer-ish kind of beers than their standard lager thoroughfare. In this case here, they brewed two IPAs as the latest additions in their beer series, and this is the actually kind of neat where they've like East Coast, West Coast IPAs have often been talked about as two separate entities, and they kind of are, even if they are basically pretty hopped up pale ales. So the mere thought that they produced these at the same time is awesome. So it's kind of neat to see their not only their vision of what East is and West is, also their what their how good is their interpretation of. So let's read the labels here. So let's start with my coast, the East Coast. So and I kind of see where this is going with the first few words here. So this is first of all, it's 5.9% ABV. It's 35 IBU. That should start to tell you something here about their approach to what they mean by East Coast. Hazy, juicy. There you go. East Coast IPAs have dominated the craft scene. Blend of hops deliver balance of citrus, tropical aromas, soft, fruity flavors. This young but easy to drink style is loved by beer fans and rises to the occasion. So right there, by its description, I can tell you that's going to be not so much your traditional East Coast IPA or even a Vermont style IPA. That is more a New England style IPA. Is it really? We'll find out here just a second. So let's look at the other can. So this other can. Hey Craig, I see you in the chat there. How you doing, sir? Let me know what you're drinking. I am interacting tonight with people. This one here is a bit stronger. This is Moosehead Small Batch West Coast IPA, which comes in at 6.3% ABV, 60 IBU, so it's a bit more of a punch. Big, bold flavors divine a West Coast IPA. Layered hops deliver huge hop aromas with notes of ripe citrus and pine. The malt characters under, I don't want to get too much into the, but you can see where they're talking about using more pine forward flavors, so what you would find in your typical West Coast IPA. So I got to start somewhere. So I'm going to start with my coast and go back to the East Coast IPA, and let's take a look at if this is any good. I'm going to pour this into my other East Coast glass, my Garrison Teku, and let's give it a look. Holy, yep. Definitely looks like a New England style IPA. It's got that big, juicy, turbid, hazy appearance. Dirty glass, sorry. Shoot me, Ashley. Looks nice though. I do like the appearance of that, like this nice hazy, milky, turbid appearance with the kind of like a very apricot color kind of color. It looks kind of bright yellow on screen, but it's definitely a bit more skewing towards amber or banana in the color. Pretty much white, off-white head. Looks nice. Let's give it a whiff. Oh, definitely juicy. It's got like this, the cutting open a fresh grapefruit or a fresh orange, but not like a very sweet orange, but more like a cracking open a very not so much acidic orange, but just like a tart, slightly floral, lightly sweet, citrusy, bit of passion fruit in there. It smells like your standard IPA or hazy IPA these days. So it's par for the course. So I can't fault it for that. It's kind of mellow, but sometimes that's what you want. Let's put her down the hatch. Loads of stone fruit in there. Pithy. It's almost like the flesh, like towards the pit of the peach, but it's not quite. I mean, there is a hint of peach in there, but it's kind of like, it's more like the apricot, but like the sour kind, like the flesh that's near the pit of the fruit. And very pithy, and then it's kind of like the rind of the fruit, zesty, bitter, slightly sour, but not quite off-putting. I am getting a little bit of like not a caramel sweetness, but a nice like gentle malty sweetness that counterbalances the hops in this quite well. I mean, I do feel like maybe it's slightly more bitter than the 35 IBUs that it's advertising, but at the same time, I find this thing to be a very smooth, easy drinking, quenching IPA that, like, if you were told New England style IPA, you would not mind at all if you like it. I've had better, but I've definitely had worse. And for something that's par for the course, I would say that's just plain and simply par for the course for that style. So we'll get into a rating here in a second. I want to taste drive. Take the other one for a taste drive. I don't know where I'm going with this. So, first of all, I'm going to cleanse the palate a little. I don't have any pickles. Sorry. All right, so let's crack open the West Coast and see what this is like. All righty, let's give that a pour into my Lindemann's glass. Oh, okay. I'm not disappointed so far. Now looking at that one, ooh, pushing that one. I think the biggest thing that I was thinking when I was pouring this is like, please don't be hazy. When I typically think of a West Coast IPA, I don't think haze. Usually, like East Coast and West Coast, from before the days of the hazy IPA, or the New England style IPA, they weren't hazy. They might be unfiltered. There might be like a little bit of haze in the beer, but nothing turbid or opaque. And that looks the part. That actually looks damn good. Like when I think of like a West Coast IPA, I want something that resembles like Lagunitas IPA. Looks good, actually. The appearance on that is exactly what I want. A nice brassy color, clear. It's pretty well clear. So maybe a little bit of particulate in there would have been nice, but whatever. I'm splitting hairs here. What I am getting is this nice rocky head on top that's bright white, and it looks the part. Like that's bang on. Anyway, let's give it a whiff. Not a lot of aroma on this thing here. It's just kind of coming off as like maybe a touch like grassy. Like I wanted a little like a bit of sprucey pine coming off of this, like almost like spruce gum kind of coming off in the aroma, or even just a little bit of white grapefruit. And I'm getting this kind of like bready grassiness coming off the top of this. Maybe a little bit of pine poking through, but it's very, very, very weak, very mild. Oh, all right. Let's just take it for a taste test. Cheers, down the hatch. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I mean, it is piney. It's floral. It is kind of got that white grapefruit taste. It's quite sweet. Like it's overly sweet in the back of the palate. It's not like sugary sweet, but it's a little bit sweeter than I would like. Like usually when I want, like what I like to get out of a West Coast IPA is this nice, big, piney, like white grapefruit, hop bomb at the top, but fades into this next to no malt in the background. that finishes clean. I'm not getting that here. I'm getting this very. It's not a bad beer, but I mean, I'm getting this kind of very malty backbone in the background of this one here. That's kind of counteracting a lot of what I would like to see, or the hop punch out of this thing, where those big sprucey piney notes coming off the top of this thing, that white grapefruit. It's really quite mellowed out, and it's finishing off very sweet, and it's kind of lingering around, this lingering pine and sweetness in the back of my palate after it dries out. That it's kind of, it's not terrible, but I wouldn't give it high marks for the style. It's serviceable. I mean, if you enjoy IPAs, you're probably going to like this beer. I can tell you right now, like Lee L. Harlock would probably like this one better than this one, but he always did like Dan better than me anyway. Inside joke, sorry. Okay, so what are my thoughts on these two? I gotta say, I'm a bigger fan. They're getting kind of old these days. I hope they don't go away because I still love them. But there's just so many breweries making a New England style IPA out there these days. That said, this is a very decent one. I'd give that one a 4 or 5 for the style. This one here, for a West Coast IPA, it misses the mark, but it's not a bad beer. I'm going to give it a 3.25 out of 5. Just because it's not bad. It's definitely drinkable. I'm probably going to finish this can. But as far as a West Coast, if I'm drinking something that's advertising itself as a West Coast IPA, so like I said at the start of this video, I want something that's pretty darn close to Lagunitas. Maybe a bit hoppier or complex in the hop flavors, but definitely doesn't finish like a West Coast IPA. Meanwhile, if you're talking your modern interpretation of an East Coast IPA is New England IPA, then sure, why not? All right, so that's not the end of this, because my buddy Jamie of Basement Beer Reviews had the idea of pulling an average Joe here, the Beer Patrol, and I'm going to cuvee it into my Hammond River glass. So let's pour it halfway here. Give that nice Hammond River swirl. And pour it here. Fill the rest of the way. Well, so far the continuity of the universe hasn't unraveled yet, so that might mean this is a good thing. So what happens when East meets West? Let's put it down the hatch. Cheers. The pine notes of the West Coast IPA shine through. Just slightly mellow out the juiciness of the East Coast. Unfortunately, I'm getting the sweetness of the West Coast. At least I'm getting the clean, like creamy consistency body of the East Coast. I would say the summer. I wouldn't say it's. I'm hard to put a finger on what I think of this. It's just I don't think it's equivalent to some of its parts. I guess maybe it's between. Maybe it doesn't necessarily make the West Coast IPA better. In fact, it just makes it more sweet. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 5. Anyway, it's okay. A fun little experiment, but it's just too sweet. Okay, so there you go. There's my thoughts of Moosehead's West Coast and East Coast IPA. If you like hazy IPAs, definitely be on the lookout for the East Coast. Stupid camera, come on. on the East Coast. If you like IPAs in general, you might like trying the West Coast, but definitely of the two, I prefer the East. So, of course, I live out in the East, so makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks, Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, hanging around in the chat briefly, and we will chat with you folks later. Cheers.